Hi, today we have with us a very special guest from Bangalore, and he's a very young guy, and he's been in this hobby just over 4 years. From the pandemic days, he started off, and he's just kind of just been pulled into the hobby, and he's got so much into the hobby that today he's known on the Instagram circles for his aquarium, the setups, the nano setups, and the plantations and the nature aquariums. But more than that, also along with it is his photography and the small video clips that he's posting. Please welcome Gabriel Jose, who's joining us from Bangalore. Gabriel, welcome to the Weekend Aquarist podcast.
Thank you, Amma. Thank you.
So Gabriel is a little bit shy, but when he starts talking, we can go talking. Okay, so I'm we're just waiting to kind of get that going. Gabriel, thank you for accepting my invite. I've been following you. We also met at the Nature Aquarium Festival
Right.
in Bangalore, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you were with your friend and partner at that time.
Yeah, I was with my friend Sham.
His name is Sham. Okay,
Sham,
so
right.
so what Gabriel also has is they've recently started a venture with a very interesting name called Whispering Waters. Okay, and we'll take a deep dive into that very soon. Anything that starts with W, Gabriel, is I have a soft corner for that because from the Weekend Aquarist to the
Right.
Whispering Waters. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
so let's start and Gabriel, why don't you take some 2-3 minutes and give us a quick introduction. I know I've been talking, but you're not just an aquarist. You're not just about whispering waters. You have your own career also on the side. So I right now I don't know which is the side one and which is the real one, but So let's talk about that.
So, yeah, I'm a graphic designer. So, I do digital marketing. We handle the social media and all the stuff. So, that's the part actually we design and make the aesthetics of every single social media partner we have at the moment. So, that's how I do. And even hobby is getting the same path in one way, where I take my photographs and make my profile into the same way, bringing the aesthetics to making the colors at the same moment.
So you've got a very unfair advantage in the
Of
hobby,
okay,
because you're a graphic designer. Second, you are a fantastic photographer. You take fantastic micro photography shots. Third is you are into social media. This is an unfair advantage for people like us, who have to depend on certain freelancers and teams and all. Tell us a little bit more about how you got into the hobby and what are you doing currently. Tell us about that as well.
okay, so the journey how I started my hobby was actually very interesting. So just like during the COVID session, we never had anything to do so much about. So I regularly started as a normal hobbyist, fish hobbyist. I started breeding guppies, bettas, and all the stuff. And I live in a Hindi area in Kerala actually.
Okay.
So that's my hometown. So I used to be there at COVID times. So in Kerala, I used to live near this Hindi area, and I have three rivers nearby.
Wow.
So you will always see these plant buds, fishes, and everything. And I always wanted to replicate that thing, but I never knew about aquascaping or the hardscape or any of this stuff. I never knew it. Okay. And I would try. I just collect some rocks. I would collect some gravels and try some plants. But somehow the other way, this plant start dying. There's no way growing this thing. Okay. So I never knew about this stuff, but I still kept on trying. Then there will be a day I will be growing something and I could replicate that thing. So in between, I actually got my new camera and I never got the chance to go out, take a good landscape or something like that.
Right.
So I wanted to take something with this camera because there is no point in buying such a camera and just putting in the showcase. So I just thought, okay, let's go with fishes. So I started to take this fish photography. Was not that great at that moment, but still somehow I managed to take all this stuff. So when I even you know what you when you get into this hobby, your phone, your laptop, everywhere, whatever you're searching, it will be what cameras and fishes and all the stuff. So there is one day I saw this video. It was Dave Chow's video. Okay, he was scaping
Dave Chow. Okay.
Dave
Right.
Chow, Dave Chow. So he was scaping the 360 tank in the Green Aqua channel. That is the moment I saw what a perfect combination of photography, plants, fishes.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
I was really impressed. I was really inspired, like how all things come together in one place.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I wanted something like that. Okay, so I thought, okay, I will start knowing about aquascaping and I will also bring this photography hobby into this. Okay,
Wow.
then
Okay.
I started to know about ADA, Amano, Takashi Amano, all this stuff. Okay, so this is how I actually got into this hobby. Understand?
Right. So that's really interesting because and you said it. In aquascaping, you have you have to have a great understanding about nature aquariums,
Right.
how how to set it naturally, and it's a self-sustained ecosystem. Then the second one is your artistic element. It's not just putting the plants and fish together at some rocks. It's how it looks. Understanding the golden ratio, understanding the elements, understanding the ammonia cycle, how it all works together. And
Right.
lastly,
Right.
how do you present it? And that comes from the photography, right? So
Right. Right.
especially in your contest photography contest, aquascaping contest, the photograph is the one which is going to show. You get only one photograph to share, and that photograph is the
100.
one that is going to show them what you have created. So which contest did you participate? Like we mentioned, we met in the TGIIC thing, but tell us,
Yeah,
instead of me
actually,
talking, I want you to tell us.
okay, yeah. But actually, I have participated in this contest and all, TGIC and all this stuff. And I got this regional prizes and all the stuff. Not this year, but in the previous years and all that stuff. And but all this time, I was never prepared actually for all this contest and all this stuff. So there is, so I will always dream about my contest time because I want to make sure the contrast fits a lot because especially even in this contest, we will see what highlights are important, shadows are important,
Yeah.
placement of the hardscape, rocks, and all this stuff. They are very important. Like each other should actually complement each other.
Right. Right.
So there should be a relationship between even two plants which are nearby. So that's why. So even if I go for my nano aquariums and all the stuff, I actually prepare my photography photos before setting up the tank.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the way how I actually plan that how where should I plan this? So I will be
Uh-huh.
imagining it. I will be imagining like when I take a photo, how it will look and then how will each other complement.
Uh-huh.
So I need to make sure the reds and the greens and there should be a shadow area and the highlights hits in the top. So it's important how it comes. Okay. So even I always try to do what? Uh, Try to keep the background more white so that I get a highlight.
Uh-huh.
Okay. But it's actually is also one thing, one advantage it gives is that it adds additional light in your tank.
Right. It reflects the
Okay.
light. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So it always brings this what a sky element at the above the plants.
Right.
Okay. That's the part where the imagination hits.
Right.
So it's important for it. So now actually I have this tank nearby. this is going to be my prepared contest tank.
So that's a secret tank, but you're only
Yeah,
giving
that's
us
a
a
secret.
slight
Yeah,
glimpse of
just
it.
a sneak peek. Yeah, just a
Okay,
sneak peek.
okay. So you're
So
talking about sneak peeks. Even I've got a sneak peek behind me.
yeah, right.
Okay, yeah.
Right. I am actually waiting for that. Okay, I think you will be about adding 6, 7 tanks. I saw
Yeah.
that post recently in the Instagram.
So
Really waiting for it.
yeah, so just taking a moment, when I started off, you guys, you know what the background. So I used to have a nature aquarium gallery called Tropico Aqua. Unfortunately, it shut down and all of that.
Okay, yeah,
Sad story, sob story. So let's get over that. Then I started off when I started off with the Weekend Aquarist. So the one tank that I have is the 90p, which is in the main living room, and that's
I
not a
see
place
it.
I can have a podcast or something. But this is my study room, and on the opposite side is the bookshelf that I am an avid book reader. So the backdrop was the books, but somewhere the books are not going with an aquarium podcast, right? So I
Right,
said,
right.
okay, let me start setting up this. So this is coming up. It's going to have mini terrariums, nano aquariums. Let's see how that comes about.
I can actually see a terrarium on your backside. Is that
You
AD?
can't see anything over here. Okay, you can't see
Okay.
anything.
Oh,
You
now you're
can only
hiding it.
see you can only see a poster over there. So
Okay.
you talk about sneak peeks. This is the sneak peek. Okay, let's continue your story, but tell us about continue with that story.
Yeah, so
You're
this is
talking
the
about your
contest tank.
tanks behind, your
Yeah,
sneak
yeah.
peek tank. Okay, what
So this
else
is
is
the
there?
tank. This is actually a 2.5 feet tank.
Okay,
Okay. It's a small tank. So yeah, I'm a nanoscaper. So anyway, this is something big for me.
uh,
Okay. But the height is a little much upper side. So it's actually 45 centimeter height. So actually, I have done this cave for a while now. But
uh,
still, every single day, I will be adding some elements. Okay, because there will be some or the other thing I am not satisfied with.
right,
So I
right,
just keep on adding, and I make sure this will be going for this year's contest, TGIC contest for
right,
sure.
right,
So I want this to be very green and add a very small element of reddish on it. Okay, I don't want too much red because that's how ADA does it. Why ADA times come to a point of beautifulness? It's because of the color. Like they choose
right,
mostly green,
right,
okay, and very less of a red. That gives actually a very huge contrast.
right. But
Okay,
tell me
that's
something. Sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, please
yeah.
complete. I have got something else that I want. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So that's actually the contrast is something I always give an importance in my tank. Okay, more than anything, because it should complement. That's my priority. So, okay, so fishes are my last thing because once the plant grows, okay, I won't be adding fishes for like around 2 months or 3 months
Okay, okay,
because I want to make sure what fishes I add should actually not destroy the enormous of the tank or nor should not what be an off color. Okay, like
right,
wherever I take a photo, it should highlight from that position.
right,
So
right,
that is very important for me. And I choose the plants very wisely because too much of plants will be like overcrowded. Okay, you won't have an idea where to look at. Okay, so it's
yes,
very important you choose the amount of plants very less and make one plant the most important part of it.
right.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
tell me.
when people start off in the hobby, they start off with a fish only kind of a tank. They may even start off with a goldfish bowl, but then soon graduate to other things and then postgraduate. Okay, and then double postgraduate after that. So
Okay,
all of that will happen. But then, there comes a time when they say, okay, let me add plants, make it more natural. And that's how they start getting into the planted tank hobby. At some
right.
point of time, I've always noticed it, the plants start taking more prominence, and that prominence and importance come especially in contest tanks, where
Right.
the focus is on the plants first focus, and obviously You don't want to add the fish too soon because they'll start uprooting, and
Yeah, definitely.
they'll start changing your scape. They'll say, okay,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
scape is not good. This is how
They
it
will
should
not,
be.
yeah, they will
So
not allow us. They will not
yeah,
allow us to make the shape.
so the focus from a professional aquascaper is that, okay, let me get my tank ready. I'll add the fish only when I'm ready, and I want to then kind of let them settle down and then
Right.
take the final photographs, because adding the fish too soon, or adding the fish and taking the photographs too soon also is not advisable. Um, Talking about your tank and you're making them more green, which lights are you using?
Well, I am actually using a couple of lights there. So I have a twin star at the moment. I have
Mm,
Cheeros,
mm.
and I have this LED star behind the terrarium I was telling.
Right, right, right.
And I have this Azure also. Azure. It's a Indian
Yes.
brand made.
Yeah. Azure is Alfred's
Yeah,
brand,
right.
right?
Alfred's
Okay.
man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
actually I have started using his light from the beginning stages. He has actually improved a lot. I mean,
Yes.
this light is affordable at the same time, and it's actually you can like literally grow any plant under it. There's no big challenge of it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know Alfred, and we are in the same group also, and we keep flying plants from him, certain, because he
Yeah,
keeps
right.
getting some exotics and all.
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah. He has a lot.
Sometimes,
I do also
sometimes,
get it from him.
sometimes I think that he's only giving exotic names himself. Yeah, so he's doing well, and Azure is a good made in India brand, so that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. Actually, I'm using this for my client tanks. I do have client tanks. So I use like literally in every client tank I use this light because it actually is affordable and not a big head of a deal. And it can grow literally any plant. So I always use this light. And it's
Yeah,
good to use an Indian made brand. Like
right,
it actually shows the proudness of India.
right. Yes, it is, and there are quite a few uh, of our Indian stories, and that's the whole purpose behind this channel. Also, you are one of the
Right.
stories that we are highlighting. So, you also spoke about your camera, but you didn't tell us which camera it is. So, which camera do you use?
Yeah, so I use the Sony A7 III Mark III. Okay,
Okay.
and I have multiple lenses. I have prime lenses, I have zoom lenses, also macro lenses and all the stuff. Sometimes I switch lenses with my friends and all the stuff, so I can
Yeah.
get more and more
Right.
good
Right.
photos and all the
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
I have my camera just near me.
Yeah. Just sure. Just sure. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This is my camera. It's always near the tanks. It's
Yeah.
actually always near the tanks.
Right.
So so that whenever I see something, I just take a photo. I don't
Right.
wait for it. So that's how I just go for it.
Many people, when they buy their equipment, and I'm not talking about when you're deep into the hobby, but when you're starting off, like you started off with the camera first, and then the hobby came later. You tend to kind of buy the telephoto lenses and all, not the macros initially, right? So, is there any tip that you can share with some of us who've gone with the telephoto lens and then wondered, how do I shoot macros?
Yeah, actually, there is this small tip you can use it. It's actually 100% manual. So you have to flip the lens. You
Oh,
can
okay.
flip the lens. So the more zoom you get in the telephoto lens, the more macro it goes. Okay.
Right, right.
So if you flip the lens, you can just take it by holding it. It will be like 100%. And the focus will be like what? Going closer and coming back. That's how you focus on it.
Hey,
Okay.
that's a nice hack.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, there is also this converters. I mean, you can use this special mounts that you will get to buy. You can use this to flip your lens so that you don't need to actually what play around with it so much. It's very hard to hold in hand, but still you can get very, very good macro shots.
Yeah,
Okay, you have
I've seen your photographs, and that's how I started following you also.
yeah,
So what we'll do is we'll just take a very small break and bring in Gabriel's creations on this video, so that you guys can enjoy what all he's been creating, and then we will go on to the next part. of this recording. Okay, so this very interesting conversation. So just be there, and we'll be back right away. So I hope all of you, enjoyed watching Gabriel's creations. Now these creations, Gabriel, are you're doing under your Whispering Waters business, right?
Yeah,
That's
right.
these are some of them are yours, but most of them are also your clients' tanks.
Right, right. Yeah, most of them are my client tanks. So actually, it's actually called Whispering Waters. So it was started by my friend called Sham. So actually, the story was actually I stopped this hobby. Okay, I was in
Oh, okay,
Kerala. So I came to Bangalore for work actually, for the graphic design work. So I was never this work from home thing or any of this stuff. So I would actually go to office and come back and all this stuff. So I got to meet Sham. Okay, so it's actually how it is. How we met is actually he bought a fertilizer from a brand called Green Water Aquascapes. So there was this some time that I used to be an aquascaper over there. Okay, I
right,
used to
okay.
learn all this water parameters and all the stuff from there.
Selvin, right?
Yeah, right.
Selvin Joes.
Selvin Jose, right. So yeah, I was there for around like 1 year. Yeah, 1 year I was in aquascaping. I was doing aquascaping there, and even also handling their graphic design at the same time. So that's how actually. So actually, Selvin what kept a meeting with me and gave to Sham. So he like that's how we met. So we came into a meeting and he told me like we wanted to start something like this and he would like to actually what join together. That's the place where this Whispering Waters came up. Okay, so
Okay,
we created
okay,
something called Whispering Waters, and the idea of Whispering Waters is to what bring passionate hobbyists at the same place all at once for the best output. Okay, so
okay,
that many hobbyists get the chance to showcase their what passion, their creativity, everything together, and we get to have what a great opportunity for placing tanks and client house and do it in the right way. So the hobby
right.
gets more spreaded at the same time.
Fantastic.
Okay, so we got this. Our first client was actually a person called Jeevan. So he actually gave us this opportunity. Like he saw Sham's tank. It was a 4 foot full of anubias. Okay, it was a crazy wild of anubias. So he wanted the same tank actually to be placed at his house.
Okay.
So we told, oh, that's going to be difficult because it's a very old tank. If we take it out, it might break. So we didn't want the risk to be applied over there. So we actually told you we can actually make the same sort much more better. Okay. So he wanted something jungle wild, something wild grown, something overgrown, something like that. So that's how actually we started our first tank with this person. And it's been now around 5, 6 months, I guess. Okay.
Okay.
The tank is doing very good. It's well maintained. And then after we start to get many tanks, it's from the same place, same apartment and nearby and so much. Okay. So now everything is going good at the moment. We still are looking for people for us to join so that this gets more
Right.
spread and spread it.
So you invite other hobbyists or you bring them together, and do they also intern with you and go on these client setups and help maintain those tanks? Does that also happen?
Not all of them. Okay. Like I actually, some are interested to stay together and work. Okay. But some are actually came up for just to do this time and all stuff. So we will be collaborating with them then, if that's the case. Okay. So we have a small team at the moment who actually takes care of this maintenance and all stuff. They really love this thing. So they are trying to do this as a full-time job.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So they are actually trying to do this even at the same time managing other jobs. So that's how are they also doing this. Um, but yeah, this is how we are actually going, and till now it's going good. I hope we get more better and
Yeah.
better. And
Yeah. So since you're also talking about this and you spoke about green water and all, that's now I realize that's unfair advantage number 4 that you have brought in. You interned at Green Water Aquatics and worked there for 1 year. You know, so Selvin can teach you not only about the plants, he can teach you about the nutrition. He can tell you about the macros, the micros, everything. So that's the
definitely
fourth
yes.
unfair advantage.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
that's the place where I actually learned about water parameters. Okay, literally how to grow, why we add every single elements to this fertilizers. All this stuff I learned it from there. That's how I, even now also I add fertilizer in my tank. Because I don't add fertilizer daily in my tank. I observe it. It's not necessary to add daily. So you
Yes,
observe it, you just try to find the deficiency, what they are lacking.
right, right,
Okay,
right.
that's how I'm doing. So, and there is also this 3 foot tank. We are actually done. It's a very minimal tank. Okay, so we were actually planning for the angels and all the stuff. Then thought of using what discus in this tank, all the stuff. It's a very minimal tank. So adding fertilizer on this tank was the main challenge because we have to make sure that water parameters are very good, and you have to make sure like the temperatures are fine. Okay, so discus is actually very very complicated. We haven't added the discus yet. Still going for it to find the best water parameter, and that's the moment when we start adding this discus fish.
Okay.
Yeah, also about talking about discus. I have seen your new issue, this magazine. I saw this discus
Yeah.
on the photos and all this
Yes.
stuff. So how is it going?
In fact, you know, I've kept it over here. I thought I'll bring it up in the podcast also.
Okay, okay.
So this is the latest edition. This is the latest issue of Weekend Aquarist, and the cover story is by Sumer Tiwari, and these are his wild discus, and he
Oh, wow,
actually
wow.
brought them to breed, but after the wrigglers came out, when the fry hatch, we call them wrigglers because they're in one spot wriggling. They didn't make it to the free swimming stage, but that's a start. So he shares that story, and
Okay,
it's very
okay.
difficult to get wild discus to breed in your tank. And the next story is on Sam's discus. So this one is a discus special issue. Sam's discus
Okay, okay.
is also a made in India story. 15, 16 years he's been there. Today his discus are getting exported from India to the world. And we've got an upcoming podcast on Sam's discus. Also, I went to his fish farm, and so all of it, amazing stuff, amazing stuff. And then there are some other stories. There's Arvind Manoj, who's
Oh, okay.
like you, a hobbyist, and he's crazy about going into the wild and identifying the wild native fishes that we have. So we interviewed him also. He's a bit too shy, so he says, I'll just publish my interview. So we've done that. And what's again special about this issue is that for the first time, you remember those days, early times when magazines were still around, too much. So you used to have these sports magazines and all, they used to have these posters. You could, centerfold posters. So this has centerfold posters, but you don't
Okay.
want to kind of spoil the magazine by removing the poster, right? So what we have done is we have brought in postcards now. Okay, so these are postcards, and they have got these cutouts behind them with the information about the fish and whose the image credit goes to. Okay, so these are two photographs are by Arvind Manoj, and two of them are from Sumit Tiwari. Both of them fantastic photographers, and this is going to be an ongoing, addition. It's a new feature to the magazine, and we
Okay.
got a fantastic response because of this. Okay, people are really excited to
Yeah,
start
right.
collecting this. Okay, so it's going to be collectible. So we'll keep introducing new things. So a request to the viewers is that uh, the Weekend Aquarist is a very very small team. Okay, it's actually me. Okay, and I've got a very small team of freelancers. Somebody who helps me out with the magazine design, and he's been doing a fantastic job. And then somebody who helps me with the video editing, and then my own team at home. My wife helps me up with the packing and the dispatching. My son helps up. There's a small clip I'm going to put on Instagram where he's actually packing the magazines and all.
Okay.
So it's more of a passionate uh, story for us, because we want to kind of bring out India's first. We've already brought out, but we want to make it a bigger success.
Yeah, right,
And
right. It should be
therefore,
actually. I think we don't
yeah,
have much magazines. I think we don't have any
we
magazine.
we don't have
Yeah, we
a
don't have any.
aquarium
Right,
hobby focused
right,
magazine.
right,
So we
right.
wanted to and then we've all grown up. I mean, I've grown up looking at TFH, Tropical Fish Hobbyist, Practical Fish Keeping, Coral Magazine, Amazonas, nothing from India. So that's what I wanted to really start. And so that's what it is. So please do subscribe. It's on weekendaquarist.in. You can simply go onto this website and subscribe. And we are giving for the next 3 months now, we have extended this offer. We are giving the digital edition free when you subscribe to the print edition. So you actually get to enjoy best of both worlds.
Got it. Yeah,
Okay,
right.
thanks for bringing me in into that. Yeah, we would have probably forgotten about it, but thanks for that
Yeah, actually, I'm
update.
actually waiting for a magazine. I do want one copy for me myself because I really liked how the discuss was going on that image. So I just wanted to have a look
Yes,
on it.
yes, yes, and I'm looking forward to having you in the June issue under Hobby Spotlight, and we should keep doing this more often.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you know, I'm going to share your Instagram handle, but why don't you tell us about your Instagram handle and both the handles, your own handle as well as Whispering Waters, and if you want to share charms, okay, then please do so. Why don't you tell the audience where how they can follow you?
Yeah, it's called the Aqua Amazon. So you can simply find it. It will be like what with a red logo, I mean red background with a white logo
Yeah,
on it.
we'll put it over here. Don't worry. We'll insert the logo and so that's the Aqua Amazon,
Yeah,
and then
then
you have the Whispering Waters,
yeah, you have to type in Whispering Waters Bangalore. It is based on
Bangalore.
Bangalore, so we kept to go
Okay,
Bangalore. Yeah.
okay, and so that's the Aqua. What about your personal handle? What do you want people to follow you on the personal handle, or you don't want them to follow you?
I mean, see, on this field, I actually kept this personal account called the Aqua Amazon. So it is actually a
Right,
personal account. Okay.
right,
I
right,
do have
right.
another account, but I just kept it more personal. Just for the people I know. That's it.
Sure, sure, sure. And do you want to kind of share Sham's Instagram handle as well over here?
Yeah, yeah, that's actually be mad at with Sham, I guess. I have to look for it actually.
Okay,
You can
we'll
show
add
it.
that.
Yeah,
We'll add.
yeah. No, he's
Yeah.
actually a wildlife photographer. He does a lot of great, great wildlife photographies. And he has actually taken me for this wildlife photography too. And it was really great. He has actually traveled a lot, written a lot of articles and all the stuff. He has done crazy amount of things. He's a great wildlife photographer I know.
So what we're going to do is we're going to put Sham's photograph at
Yeah.
this point and show some of his photographs also. And we should get the next time we have this conversation, Gabriel. Let's focus on one of your creations. We'll do a short one,
Okay,
and
okay.
we could bring in Sham also. It would be good
Yeah,
catching
yeah.
up with him as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
this was really a wonderful conversation. I enjoyed this discussion. Is there something that you would still want to share before we conclude this particular conversation? But anything that's on your mind that you'd like to share as tips with upcoming hobbyists, people who are in a position where you were during the pandemic, 4 years back before you got into this hobby.
I can actually share my first time Aquascapes and all this stuff. You can show that people will be really shocked that seeing that this was really my time because it was that level of where what a beginner can start. Okay, it's crazy where I actually started. Well, one thing I would say is just like it's not a told subject like KH or GH or something like that. Okay, just know your water parameters. That's the most important part of doing this tank. So if you know your water parameters, no matter how good how bad you are at photography or how bad you are at aquascape and all this stuff, doesn't matter because plants are the heroes. Okay,
Right,
we are
right.
nothing. Literally, we are just
Mm,
nothing. Okay, so
mm,
if you get these water parameters to the best level, that's the you will see good result automatically coming. Your tanks will be beautiful, what without being even said. Okay, it's going to be that wonderful. Just make sure you have your water parameters right. Like people actually even doing a lot of time, just still test your water. Okay, you can do amazing water tanks. Even doing amazing plants like lilies and all the stuff. You can do it very huge. Okay, but what? Just make sure the water parameters are right. Like you have to study each and every plant. Just do some research. That's what I say. Okay, so what we do is actually go on YouTube and search for how to grow a plant, something like that. It's better go for Google and read articles about how to and understand about plants and all stuff. And even nowadays, you have this Chat GPT. Okay, you can
yes.
use it. You can simply use it. They are actually getting more accurate during these
Right,
days. So you can
right,
actually ask like how much to add in your tank and all the stuff.
right, right,
It makes much more easier. So you it doesn't need
right,
anyone to be asked or something. You can do it by yourself, and it's easier.
right.
And yeah, that's I think that's much I can say about it. And
How important is filtration? How important is your lighting? How important is your water change frequency?
okay, see about filtration. Okay, so filtration is something I would say you measure it by yourself. Okay. So why I would say like that, it's because like if you want less maintenance, go for a bigger filter. Okay. But if you can maintain your tank very well, I would say even if you don't put a filter, your tank will be fine. But at least you should put a pump because flow is very important. Okay. So I have done also times with no filter. Just I will be adding a normal pump to it, and that's it. But I will be doing a very good maintenance. That's the thing what you see in this Instagram and all this stuff. They won't be telling what they do. Okay, you'll be seeing just normal photos and all this stuff. You see, okay, they are non-filter tanks and all this stuff, so it's easy to be done. But non-filter means more maintenance.
Yeah, but I just wanted to add, because it's important to add over here. What you see on Instagram uh, are, when they have just done the cleanup, okay, and they've just set it up. Most of them, I hate those videos where they put the seeds and that they show that it's such a nice carpet. They don't know what that carpet will look like in just 10 days from now. Right? They don't show that. So people get carried away and newcomers get misled by that. So it's important to understand that what you see on Instagram is not real life. Some of this will change, and therefore, once you do it, like Gabriel was saying, you have to do it. Only then you can start understanding what is needed, what is missing. That's a very good point, Gabriel. Yeah.
And about lighting is actually very important. That you can do low tech times, you can do high tech times, and it doesn't matter what light you use. Okay, but you have to make sure the spectrum is reaching it. Okay, it doesn't matter what brand. You doesn't need to use a specific brand for it. What you have to make sure is that the light is enough. Is it reaching every single corner of your tank? This is what is very important. Okay, like people buy light and they will be buying one light for a moment and all the stuff. And what they will be doing is actually they will be doing a Dutch tank. Okay, so maybe the light is much more what for low tech setup. Okay, maybe for a more wild setup or something, but not for Dutch. Okay, so that is the part like they don't get good reds, they don't get good colors. Okay, even the time when I bought my first light, it was Chihiro Slim. Okay, so it's not that powerful light at all. Okay, it's a good light, but not that powerful. So I have to understand, like we have to understand the light much. So what I will be doing is actually I'll be planning according to the way like where the light reaches. Okay, like even after the hardscape, like sometimes when you place your wood, you will see a huge amount of shadow
Shadow.
beneath it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what I would say is actually instead of growing plants over there, you can try to bring some rocks or something like that,
Mm.
which can
Mm.
actually add an element to the hardscape.
Mm. Mm.
Okay,
Good thought. Good thought.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's how you utilize the shadows and all stuff. So it's better for you for what? Not struggling a plant over there. Okay, and make sure like plants like Monte Carlo, all this stuff. Monte Carlo or like carpet plants, they are not a huge water column feeder. They always go for what? Soil feeding. Okay, so if you have carpet and all this stuff, it's better to not add fertilizer for a week. Okay, they will grow very fast. Okay, but even though if you actually started growing it with the what day one fertilizer and all this stuff, you might see your Monte Carlos or something. They'll be what stunted. They won't be growing
Mm.
so fast. One thing you can do is actually just trim it like
Mm.
way fully trim it up. Okay,
Mm.
you will get very new good leaves and they start to
Yes.
become carpet very
Yes.
easily.
Yes. Yes.
So
That's true.
that's how you actually do it. Because why actually they got stunted is because of the algae. They got over their leaves and their stomata getting closed and they can't do photosynthesis properly. Okay.
Right.
And maybe the stem plants are doing good. Everything will be doing except the carpet. But yeah, if it's something like people are afraid of trimming plants. Okay. But plants do
Yes.
respond.
Yeah, you're right. And,
Yeah.
it's kind of, when you then, people, will post a photograph of a yellowing leaf and say, what kind of treatment do I give? Or there's a hole in my leaf, how do I treat it? You don't treat it, you cut it off. And the reason you trim it is because the plant will immediately start giving new offshoots, and there will be new growth. And so people need to understand that for new growth, the old has to go. And that's how, you bring in new life also. So that's important. And I think that's another important aspect that you brought out. Trim it and trim regularly, and
Right.
you'll see your plants grow so much more.
Yeah, yeah. I
This
mean,
is
if you
really
if
good.
you if you trim it, it spreads more and more. It gets more lush. Okay, it's very important, especially this plant. No one tries to trim it a lot, like plant got Staurogane repens. They don't grow super fast and all this stuff. But if you keep on trimming, they will actually grow bigger in size. They will start to have a lot of shoots, and they will look even more beautiful.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
some people do struggle with stargates and all the stuff. And just trim it. Like all the time, first solution is going to be trimming the plant off. Okay, so it will be easy solution, and you can see how it responds, how the plant will be responding to that. If you're afraid to what trim the whole session, try with one stem. You will see the result. That's what I would say.
Amazing tips, Gabriel. So much, knowledge and experience in about 40 minutes that we have, got from this conversation. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm looking forward to having these short conversations, and we could pick up any small topic. Maybe you could also show us how you trim plants. Okay, we could do
Yeah, yeah.
something about that as well. But looking forward to more such conversations, Gabriel. And thank you for being on the Weekend Aquarist. And viewers, if you're watching this, you may, and especially if you're from Bangalore, you may reach out to Whispering Waters, and they do have a maintenance service. They have an aquascaping and maintenance service. So you can reach out to them also. You can follow Gabriel and Sham on their adventures, and we wish them all the very best. Thank you, Gabriel.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.